My fellow Mississippians, as you may know, media organizations recently petitioned the court for my text messages during my tenure as governor regarding the volleyball stadium at Southern Miss. As the whistleblower that first brought suspected misdeeds at the Department of Human Services to the attention of the state auditor in 2019, I've been as open and honest as I can be. I sat for an interview which, not surprisingly, the media has weaponized against me. They disclosed my communications and mischaracterized my interactions with various individuals to fit their story and generate clickbait headlines. For more than a year, the media has pushed a narrative that is simply not true. The fact is, I did nothing wrong. I wasn't aware of the wrongdoings of others. When I received evidence that suggested people appeared to be misappropriating funds, I immediately reported that to the agency whose job it is to investigate these matters. It's been a long and difficult year, watching as decades of my public service just drag through the mud and hoping it doesn't affect those close to me. After much thought and discussion with counsel, I've made the decision to forego any arguments about executive privilege of my text messages in this matter and simply release them all. Frankly, I'm tired of paying legal fees to respond to lawsuits that I'm not a party to in order to protect my privacy and an executive privilege that should exist for future governors. What you will find in these text messages is a busy man, a governor of a state communicating in a kind and consistent manner to everyone with whom I dealt. I communicated with hundreds of people every week to accomplish good and to help run state government the best way I knew how. As you would expect from someone with extensive communications, in large part, my text messages consist of salutations, thumbs up emojis and will do's and I'll check on it and sounds good, etc. Anyone who takes the time to find these messages will see similar consistencies in my communications. Most of the messages, if not all, that the media wants you to see have already been reported and twisted and reported again. As for the Southern Miss Volleyball Center, over a dozen lawyers from multiple entities approved the transactions. We all now have learned that attorneys from the Institution of Higher Learning, the Attorney General's Office, the Department of Human Services, and Southern Miss, as well as attorneys from multiple nonprofits, all approved that transaction, knowing where the money came from. As governor, even if I had wanted to make an expenditure like that happen, I didn't have the power to do so. We all know what's going to happen next. Now, my text messages will be manipulated through a coordinated effort from a billionaire-driven media outlet and Democratic political consultants. These messages will be again mischaracterized into endless fodder for those who want to try to denigrate the success of my terms as governor and castigate Republican candidates in an election year. In short, it will be what most people in Mississippi and throughout the United States have come to expect from the media: weaponization of half-truths for self-interest or political ends. Now, make no mistake, this is a targeted attack and meant to cast a cloud over conservative candidates running for office this year. I am simply a means to their end. Together, you and I have achieved much, whether in public education, which saw tremendous gains in reading, creating the Child Protection Services Agency, or having an extremely successful economic development agenda. We made progress. I'm extremely proud of my service as the governor and would have never done anything to jeopardize that record. Thank you again for your confidence in me and the truth we now defend. I continue to be blessed in my retirement by my faith and family. And as always, Deborah and I wish you the very best, and may God bless you all.